So Dead Rising, you wanted to play an action hero, and they were just happy to have you on board. Were you just like a kid in the candy store going, thank God I get to do this?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, truth be told, when I first auditioned for Dead Rising, I really didn't think that much of it. I threw it on tape because I was out of town at the time. I was in New York. And, like a week later, I got a call saying they wanted to hire me. So I was like, well, I better figure out what Dead Rising is. Which I did. I logged in a lot of hours. I watched a ton of gameplay. I played every installment of the game, all 4 installments. I mostly focused on Dead Rising 2 off the record because that's the game that our producers really, drew most of the source material from, and was also their favorite game. I just kind of like immersed myself in that world and got crazy addicted to it. It's just like, it's such a fun game, and with such a simple through line. You know what I mean? It's not overly complicated, it's just kind of about like surviving and killing zombies and saving people and discovering things. So it's cool. And I mean, obviously the combo weapon aspect of it is just like, kind of like, really fun. I mean, it's just kind of like a little like fantasy thing, but mostly I wanted to be a part of this because I want to be a part of the genre, and I wanted the opportunity to come to stuff like this, to WonderCon, Comic-Con, because I saw my peers coming out to all the cons, and I was very envious. They seemed to be having a great time.
Well, what did you think when you heard like people like Dennis Haysbert and Virginia Madsen were going to be co-starring with you?
I was like, wow. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, to get that caliber of actor, I mean, it goes to show you, one, the popularity of the genre, that it's attracting such, successful and seasoned actors, and two, they were probably just like me. They wanted to come to the cons as well. But also, I think it also points to the direction of digital productions and streaming, and that being sort of the way of the future, and everyone kind of wanting to get on board with that, and be at the forefront of that. And then when I heard who was involved, Sony Crackle and Legendary, I was like, okay, well, that's nothing to scoff at, So I mean, however this thing turns out, at least I could make some nice relationships there. But obviously, I was super pleased by the way the movie turned out. I think we achieved our goal, which was to bring this popular Capcom video game to life and, make a successful live action adaptation, which there's not many of them, a lot of these adaptations have been total failures, and have been really rejected by the gaming community, and we wanted to create something that they could be proud of.
The movie was a really fun movie. It was very close to the game. I think is the most successful game to movie adaptation I've seen.
That's awesome.
In my opinion. They told us you did your own stunts, and it looked like there's so much going on. Which was the most hard and fun to do?
Okay, well, I mean, kind of my usual answer to this, because it was the most fun, was the oneer. When Chase comes out of the pawn shop, up until he closes the gate, and then he has his run-in with Bonzo, in the alley. I mean, but that whole sequence was very demanding, but I mean, a lot of fun. But the oneer from the pawn shop to the closing of the gate, I mean, that was over a 5-minute long shot with a continuous shot without any cuts or edits. And we shot it 17 times. So at the end of every take, I mean, I was literally gasping for breath and dumping sweat. And I mean, from an actor's perspective, I mean, there's nothing that brings you into a world more, or at least for me, maybe that's just for me. I'm a very physical actor, so when I have to do something super physical like that, I'm not acting. It just kind of brings me right into that world, because you can't act. You have too much to do. You're too busy doing something, to like start vamping for the camera. And I mean, everything that went into that, from the props and the special effects, rigging, and the choreography, I just thought it was, and the camera work, I just thought it was amazing the way it turned out. I mean, it was really awesome. Now the scene where I was tied to the forklift, I thought that really came out well in the movie. and I really liked, my performance in it, the desperation and stuff like that. I thought it was a lot of fun. But yeah, man, I mean, I put my body on the line for this movie. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, that forklift scene, I mean, the rope burns I had around my wrists after that scene was over were gnarly. And then even when the forklift blew up, we had our stunt guy doing that final leap off the forklift onto the asphalt, and I was like sitting behind the monitors, and I was like, that doesn't look good. and I walked out there, and I was like, hey man, I appreciate the effort, but I'm gonna take it from here. And I mean, and I did that fall, which is like, hey, I mean, a 6-foot fall onto the asphalt. I'm sure you got elbow pads and knee pads on, but it still hurts. So. But I think it was all worth it, because I mean, there's not a single moment in the movie where you're like, that's not Jesse, I mean, I seriously challenge someone to find one, because there aren't any.
There's been a big influx in zombie media content. What do you love most about that genre?
I love the zombie genre because it's very layered, there's a lot of different perspectives on why people love the genre, why people relate to the genre, the symbolism, that it's a commentary on our own humanity. I think that, monster movies sort of evolve with the times, whatever humankind is most afraid of at that time seems to be at the core of what they're afraid of in the movies. And for us in this movie, it was really about like government control, and also about infectious disease and a plague, kind of like Ebola or something, and how the government could possibly use that to further their control. I think that made our story unique, but also poignant. But I mean, there's a lot of different explanations as to why we relate to zombies. I think people just love watching movies and TV shows about post-apocalyptic worlds, because there's so much freedom there. You can just kind of like do whatever the hell you want. You want to go loot, you can go loot. You want to kill someone, you can kill someone. Obviously, there's a lot of fantasy fulfillment there, and I think people get a kick out of that. I mean, you could probably go on forever talking about why people love zombies, but I think probably the most accurate depiction is that it really is a commentary on how we've sort of destroyed our own civilization, and it's about kind of saving that civilization and coming back to just kind of like caring about one another and about humanity and stuff. So.
All right, so really quick. You wake up tomorrow. It's a zombie apocalypse. What's the first thing you do?
Wow. First thing I do.
You're already dead. You're thinking too much.
Oh. There's a lot to do, man. There's a lot to do. Build a weapon, I guess.
All right, thank you guys.
All right, thank you so much.
You got it.